So I already did my eyebrows off camera, but as always, I'm going to start with a clean, moisturized face. And now I'm going to be taking my NYX Above and Beyond Concealer, as always, in the color orange. And again, I'm just going to be placing that in the areas of my face that are hyperpigmented. So under my eyes, above my lip, in the corners of my mouth, and also right in between my eyebrows, I have like a little dark mark. Now I'm going to be taking my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color medium beige, and I'm just going to place that all over my eyelids. This is going to serve as a base to make sure that all of the eyeshadow adheres flawlessly. So now I'm going to be going into my Morphe 35W palette. I'm just going to show you guys what these colors look like. I love them. And I'm also going to take my Sigma E40 brush, which is my favorite blending brush. And I'm just going to dip it into this shade that is somewhat orange. And I'm going to use that color as my transition color today. So I'm really going to work that in so that we can have a gradient effect once we start using the darker colors for this look. So now I'm going to be using a dense crease brush from Morphe, and I'm just going to take a plum shade and I'm going to work that right into my crease, and I'm going to be doing windshield wiper motions from the outer corner to the inner corner just to intensify this look. And of course, now I'm going to blend using my Sigma E40 just to make sure that everything looks really seamless and there's no harsh lines. Now I'm just going back in with that same Morphe brush just to intensify the outer corner and give myself a subtle wing. Then I'm going to use my Morphe pencil brush, and I've taken a black shade from the 35W palette, and I'm just going to place that directly in my crease to really just smoke out and intensify this look. And I'm going to use that brush to also create a little subtle wing and smoke out the edges. Now I'm going to be using a flat brush from BH Cosmetics, and I'm going to pack on a gold shimmery color from the 35W palette. Then I'm going to go back in, of course, and just darken up that crease because I want it to be a really gradient effect. Now I'm going to take my ColourPop Cosmetics in the color Flamethrower, and I'm going to use a dampened flat brush that I wet with Fix Plus to just pack that orange color right on top. It's almost like a copper color. So now that I'm done packing that on top, I'm going to use some Wet n Wild glitter along with another flat brush, and I'm just going to pack that glitter directly on top of where we place our ColourPop eyeshadow. And I'm just going to go back in and intensify that look one last time. Of course, now I'm going to take my NYX Ultra Matte Liquid Liner in the color Black, and I'm just going to draw a dramatic wing. I'm going to use the guide that I created when I was smoking out my shadows to serve as a base for my wing, and then I'm just going to reconnect it to my eyelid and just fill it in. Now that I've created my wing, I'm going to be using small strokes just to cover my eyelid. Now I'm going to take my Monistat chafing gel and just coat my face. This is my primer for it today. Then I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation in the color Y45, and I'm just going to apply that in small dots all over my face. Then using a stippling brush that I got from Amazon, I'm just going to blend everything in over my entire face. I'm going to use my NYX Control Freak Brow Gel just to tame my brows. Now I'll be taking my Urban Decay Naked Skin in the color Medium Dark, and I'm going to place that down the bridge of my nose, in the center of my forehead, under my eyes, on my chin, and I'm also going to put a very small amount right in between my Cupid's bow for today. Now I'm going to use a dampened Real Technique sponge just to blend everything out and make sure that this concealer, doesn't crease. Now I'm going in with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder in that same dampened sponge, and I'm going to place that everywhere that we put our concealer just to set the concealer and make sure that it doesn't crack or crease on us. Now I'm just going to be using some blue box lashes that I got from the beauty supply and the number 115, along with some star glue and tweezers to apply my falsies. And I'm just going to use my fingers to make sure that they're as close to the lash line as possible. Now I'm going to go in with some Smashbox Full Exposure Mascara as usual, just to coat my lashes. Next, I'm going to be using my fan brush from BH Cosmetics just to dust away all of the excess translucent powder that we set to bake our concealer with. Now you're going to see a terrible mistake with cream contour. The object of this is to get it down both of the sides of your nose, and I accidentally got it on the center, but I'm going to move on and place this in the hollows of my cheek as well as on my forehead. Then I'm going to be using a Real Technique sponge to blend it in and get a chiseled face, and I'm going to do the same on my cheeks as well as on my forehead. Then I'm going to be taking an oval brush that I got from Real Techniques from the drugstore, and I'm just going to kind of blend that color in and try and lessen the harsh effects of it. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to take that same sponge that I used to create my highlight with that still had that translucent powder on it, and I'm just going to do a quick little cleanup. Stuff like this will happen the first couple times that you try to highlight and contour, so please be aware. And you just clean it up like so. Now I'm going to be taking my Black Radiance in the color Mocha just to set the cream contour that we used on both sides. Then I'm going to be taking a small crease brush and I'm going to be using that dark shadow from the 35W palette just to smoke out my bottom lash line. Then I'm going to be going in with my ColourPop Cosmetics in the color LAX. And this is a beautiful liquid lipstick. I mean, I love it. And it's $6. Value and beauty for $6. You can't beat that. So I'm just going to outline my lips. It looks a little funky right now, but give it a few seconds. I usually just apply 2 coats of this because it's very thick. I'm sorry, I just had to take a moment to appreciate how bomb this lip color is. Moving right along, I'm going to take a small angle brush and some of my foundation just to clean up that liquid lipstick because it can be very staining. Now I'm going to take my Becca Mineral Pressed Powder in the color Amber, and I'm just going to use a total face brush to put that all over my face. Now I'm going to take my NYX blush in the color Angel and apply that along my contour. Now I'm just going to touch up my lashes with a little bit of that Smashbox Full Exposure. I'm going to apply it to my bottom lash line. Then I'm going to use my Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. And there you have it. Sexy date night makeup.